Okay, hopefully you guys can see the presentation on the center of the screen there. If it's too small for you on your screen, there's a little plus sign up there in the top right hand side you can click on to make it a little bit larger. But I think I made this one big enough to where you shouldn't have to do that. Again, like I said, this presentation now is a little different from normal what I usually do. As my pastor would say, if I had to give this presentation a title, I would call it "Your Dreams Are Not for Sale." So let's go on to our first slide here. Every online marketer's dream is to be successful, and that's one of the the things we fall into when we join people's list or we buy a product. They give us promises and hopes of being successful, and a lot of times they give us the guarantee or the promise that it's going to be quickly. But that's what everybody's dream is when they first get started with trying to do online marketing, is to be successful at it. And as new marketers, we'll try just about everything to make it work. I mean, every email when you're first starting out, and you don't really know what you want to do, you get emails, about one business model and then another business model or a program that works or a system that works, and we all kind of hopscotch around in the very beginning, trying a little bit of this and that and the other. And sometimes you have a little bit of success with it, sometimes you don't have any success with it, and you give up on it and you try something else, and then you're waiting for the next thing to come along that's really going to be the big breakthrough for you, that's going to make things work for you. And like I said, sometimes we fall for the hype of the instant success and the overnight riches and the push button claims of money in your PayPal account overnight. And most of that, like I said, is just hype. It's gotten to the point where a lot of people that write these sales pages, they know hype is what sells, so they really lay it on thick in their sales pages. And especially if you see a sales page with a whole lot of screenshots of somebody's PayPal or ClickBank account, they're really laying the hype down, trying to get you convinced that what they have is the end all be all solution that works for everyone that tries it. And you get emails like that over and over and over again. If you're on very many lists, you probably get 10 or 20 of those a day. I know I get at least that many, 10 or 20 a day, telling me about how they've got the next big thing that's going to work for everybody. Anybody that tries it has instant success, and nobody ever fails with it. But the reality is those things seldom happen. And what I mean by seldom, I mean it's extremely rare. There is the chance that you're going to fall into something that's going to work right off the bat for you. You may just be perfect timing on something, and you give it a shot and it works for you, and you see pretty good success with it right off the bat. But like I said, it's extremely rare that that does happen. Most of the time, anything that's going to be successful is going to take a little bit of work. It's going to take some time and dedication to make it work. And like I said, sure, you can get lucky sometimes. I've seen people that just happen to fall into a good deal with, say like a network marketing or MLM startup is just getting started. They get in at right at the very beginning of it, and because it's brand new, they're getting all kinds of downline members under them. So, they feel like they've just fell into a lucky gold mine. And like I said, it's extremely rare that that happens. And it could be that you buy an info product that tells you how to create your own products, and you create a product and you stick it out there for sale, and just instantly, somebody picks up on it and starts recommending it, and it starts making a lot of sales. I mean, things like that can happen, and they do happen. It's just, extremely rare that it's going to happen for you, but it can happen for some people. But again, like I said, it's not likely, and often for those that do get lucky, it's just a fleeting success, especially in the case of the example I gave of a network marketing or MLM instant success. What you find particularly in network marketing MLM is that those people are pretty much program hoppers. They ride the wave as far as something being new, and just as soon as the downline members and the recruits start falling off, and then the guys that are at the top are ready to move on to the next one that's launching and follow that same cycle over and over again. Now, it also happens, with people that release products. I've seen people that release, an ebook or video series or even a piece of software or even a great WordPress plugin that, just is instant success. But because, they've had that instant success, they don't have any experience behind how to manage that success and how to keep it running. That's all they ever see is that one instant success. I couldn't tell you how many people I know that just happened to get lucky, that created something that some other big affiliate picked up on and promoted it for them, and then it spread and they got a lot of success out of it. But then they never were able to come up with anything else after that. They didn't have the experience behind them to be able to keep that success rolling with a plan, to have the next product or next program or system ready to go to follow it. It's kind of like being in the music business or being an actor or actress. I mean, you can have one great hit, but then if you don't have anything that follows, if you're not in any other albums or videos or movies after that, well, then your success is going to dry up and people are going to forget about you. And that happens a whole lot in the online marketing world, where people will have a product or something that gets, instant success, and then they don't follow up with it with something else because they don't have the experience to create another program or system that they can follow up with. Or, and this happens a lot too, and there's a friend of mine that last year he got lucky and had the Black Friday sale that everybody promoted, and he got lots and lots of commissions out of it, lots and lots of list subscribers out of that Black Friday sale because everybody was promoting it. Not 3 months later, I'm talking to the guy, and he has no clue what to do after that. I mean, he's got this instant success, this great big huge list that he gathered from all these people that bought his Black Friday sale, but he has no clue how to use it or what to do with it. So just last month, I was talking to him again, and he's let that list completely dry up. Nobody never opens his emails anymore, and he has no product to follow up with. He didn't follow up with another product after that Black Friday sale. So that's a great example of what can happen if you don't have the experience behind being able to keep your success flowing. And again, like I said, it's a lot like a musician that has one hit song and then they never have another after that. That happens a lot of times in the entertainment business, where somebody's a one hit wonder is what they call them. So what does it take to really be successful? That's the question we need to answer. It just takes one simple thing, and it's dedication to stick to a plan. This is where most people fail, is not having the dedication to stick to something that they're trying. Like I said in the very beginning, we'll jump through several different business models and programs and systems. And to be really successful, you need to pick one that you like. There's probably a couple, 3 dozen business models in online marketing that really work. You just need to pick one of them and dedicate yourself to learning how to work that business model. And even in the lean times, don't get discouraged and give up to try something else. That happens a lot of times. You'll work a business model that others are successful in it. I mean, you see other people that are making money in it, and you see other people that are having, huge success, and they're in some of the elite affiliate circles, or, they're winning some of the leaderboards. But it just seems like you just can't seem to break into that circle. It's just not working for you, and you've been trying for a little while, and you finally get to the point you give up and say, well, I'm going to try another business model. This is just not working. I can't figure it out. And a lot of times when we do this, we're often just quitting right before our major breakthrough. you never know, especially in product creation, when you're going to create a product that somebody else is going to pick up on as an affiliate and really run with it and make and turn it into a success for you. And that happens a lot, that with, like I said, the people that will create a product and just get lucky and have some big major JV affiliate pick up on it and promote it. You never know when that's going to happen for you, but you need to be prepared for it when that does happen by knowing the business model that's back behind that product and how you got it to that point to start with. Now, all of us fail at one point or another. There is no one ever that has 100% success. I couldn't tell you how many times that I have created a report or a video or even a WordPress plugin that just did not sell at all. I mean, I have some programs that have never sold a single copy. My easiest solution I give to people to get started in online marketing is the Easy Passive Sales System. I have over 200 products listed over on the JVZoo Marketplace, and there is a slew of them that have never ever made a sale, and they probably never will. But had I given up on that because I had a few that didn't make a success, didn't make any sales, then I wouldn't be getting sales from the other 50 to 75 that get sales regularly. It just takes the dedication to say, well, this one didn't work, but I'm going to keep trying it and do it again. To give you another great example of that is the mobile apps. I love doing the mobile apps because that's about the only business model I know that truly is set and forget. You do it once, and it just sits there in that marketplace, and if it picks up and people start downloading it, it's going to make you money residually over and over again for no more effort than your initial effort of creating that app. But I've got lots and lots of apps that have never had more than 100 or 1,000 downloads, and they've never made me more than 50 cents or $1. But then I've got other apps that are consistent. They grow, the downloads grow every month. But had I given up after those first few that didn't make money with them or didn't get very many downloads, well, then I wouldn't have the others that were a success. And that's where a lot of people get discouraged and give up, because they create something and it fails, and they figure, well, this business model just doesn't work, or I don't know how to do the right things to make it work. So they give up because they had one failure. But the truth of the matter is, failures are in a way a success, because they tell us what didn't work, or they show us where we went wrong. And that's how you have to look at a failure, is that it tells you what you didn't do right or what will not work. There's been times when I have created a product and just knew in my heart that it was going to be a good selling product, that everybody was going to like it, and it was going to be, a good success. But I created that product with my own intentions in mind, of something that I thought would work, that I would buy if I wanted it, not thinking about what the end user, the consumer, wanted. And that happens a lot too, that you create something or you go into something that you think everybody's going to want, but when it really turns out it's something that you wanted but not everybody else. Or it could be there's just a small limited amount of people that may have wanted it. It may not be as widely spread as you thought it might be. That happens a lot too when you go through some courses. They tell you about picking a niche. They tell you to sub-niche down and really hone in on a really small sector of a niche. And sometimes you can do that too much. You can get down to so tight a niche that there's just not enough people to really see a success in creating any kind of a product or a website or a system around it, because it's just too small. And again, sometimes you can sub that down into something that there's just nobody interested in it. I mean, there's just some things where you might be interested in it, but then there may not be a dozen more people in the world that might be interested in it. But that's wherein, like I said, when you have a failure like that, that's where you just need to analyze it and what went wrong, and use that as a learning experience for the next time when you work on something. You know that you did this before, it didn't work, so you don't want to repeat that same thing over. But the truth of it is, if a business model that you know others are working and making money with, there's no reason why you couldn't too. It just takes the dedication to stick with it. And like I said, even if you don't see success or very little success at the very beginning, just continue to stick with it and just make it, a dedication in your mind that you want to see this work because you know it's working for others. Like I said, you just need the dedication to stick it out, even when you don't see the successes right off the bat. When I first got started writing the short reports, that was how I first got started, was doing these little quickie 7 to 10 page short reports. Probably the first few I created might have sold 1 or 2 copies, or I'm sure I had a few that have never sold any. But I know in the very beginning, the first few didn't sell very many because really I didn't have any experience with it. I was still learning the business model, still learning how to write, how to format documents, how to even create the documents. I didn't really even know how to do that. So the first few I did didn't do very well at all, but I stuck it out. I've in a year and a half time, just sticking it out, I created over 150 of them. And out of those 150, I would say there's probably a good third of them that went on to be, pretty good successes. And I still see sales to this day from some of those that I created back in 2007, nearly 7 years ago now. But it was the dedication, of sticking with it after, my first few that didn't do very well, that weren't very good, that not many people bought them, or, the first few that didn't sell, any at all. Dedication, sticking with it, say, I know this works because I went through the training. The guy that trained me how to do this, he's making it work for him. All I got to do is follow what he's doing and it will work. But that's how it got started. I just stuck with it, even though, I didn't see success with the very first few that I did. So let's do this for 2015. Go through all of the business models that you've tried, and I guarantee you there's at least one of them that you like, that you really want to work in, that you feel like you're comfortable working in it, and that you have a good working knowledge of how it works. So pick a decent, a business model that you're happy with, that you would like to work. Write out a set of small goals, just simple small goals. And by what I mean by simple small goals is like, get the website up, get the first product going, or the first members in the downline, or the first members in the membership site. Shoot for little small goals at first. A good rule of thumb that I have found with setting small goals is to try to achieve 3 customers a month. Try to achieve 3 new customers a month in whatever you try. And if you get those 3 early on in the month, continue going to see if you can double or triple that. Just set the little small goals like it to get the thing working and get just a little bit of success with it. Don't create massive goals that are hard to reach, like you want to make $1,000 the first month, or $10,000 in the first year, or you want to see 50,000 list subscribers in 90 days. Those are just great big goals that are hard to hit. And if you have great big goals set like that and you don't hit them, well, it's really discouraging to keep going when you don't hit those goals. And then the third thing is, create some sort of a plan for achieving these little small goals and success. And what I mean by creating a plan is to break each one of these little small goals down into some sort of step-by-step system that you can follow to achieve each one of those goals. In the example of getting 3 new customers or downline members a month, figure out a step-by-step plan on what you're going to work to try to achieve that. And once you see that's working, well, then work on the next small goal. But don't forget about the first goal and try to repeat it again for the next month. Okay, and then the final piece of advice I want to give you is, don't be afraid to fail. Like I said, everybody fails. There's nobody that's had 100% success. I've never had 100% success, and I don't know anybody that ever has. Now, there's people that, just like I said, fall into something lucky, and they have instant success at their first try, but if they don't have the experience behind what got them there, they're not going to see that success again right after that first success, unless they do decide to learn the business model now that they've had a little bit of success to see that it works. Sometimes that is the driving goal for people when they see that they've had a success. That's the driving goal for them to continue on. But for most people, it doesn't happen that way. They see that as a success. They figure that they've got it all figured out and that it's going to happen over and over again. And because they don't have the experience of learning that business model, it doesn't happen for them. And then lastly, don't be afraid to seek out help when you need it. There's just so many people that, contact me throughout the week saying they just have no clue how to do one part of a business model, or getting a product ready, or getting something for sale online, or getting a squeeze page up, or maintaining their list. Just recognize when there's parts of the process that you don't understand, and seek out help to get it done. It may be that you need to outsource that part. I've told this over and over again. When it comes to creating graphics, if I've got a PSD, a Photoshop file to work with, that's a huge head start for me, and I can usually figure my way through it and come out with something that's fairly decent to use. But if I had to start all over with fresh graphics, nothing to work with, just a blank slate, I couldn't do it. So that's why I outsource all graphic creation when I had to start from fresh. It's just something I've recognized is not a skill that I have, something I'll never be able to do. And really, I just don't have time for it. It may be that, if I really applied myself, I could really learn it. My wife is an artist and she can paint pictures of just about everything. But that's just something I can't do. It's not saying that I couldn't learn it, but I don't have the desire or the time to learn it. So I would just as soon outsource something like that as to try to do it myself, and let that be a stumbling block from keeping me getting something done. There's a guy I talked to about a month ago that was his huge stumbling block. He couldn't get decent looking graphics on his sales page. He wanted to do them all himself. And I asked him, well, how long have you been working on this sales page? He said 6 months. I said, 6 months you've been working on a sales page? I said, you could have outsourced that to somebody on Fiverr or the Warrior Forum and had it in less than a week. But you've been working on it for 6 months and you still can't do it. So, he let that be a stumbling block. Now, I'm not saying that he had a great product that was going to sell good or whatever. I don't even know what the product was. I don't even think he showed me the product at all. He may have told me what it was, but I don't think I had access to see what it was like or not. But he let the creation of graphics for that sales page go on for 6 months, and he still didn't have it ready for sale. So, that's a prime example of, you want to do the things yourself. You want to learn to do it yourself, but you can't let that be a stumbling block. You just need to recognize your limitations and recognize when you need to ask for help.